Hello, church family. I'm Drew, and today I want to talk a little bit about Ash Wednesday and Lent. So this is something that goes back to the 4th century when early Christians started celebrating a season of prayer and fasting leading up to Holy Week, which is that week between Palm Sunday and Easter. And so it starts with Ash Wednesday, which this year is the 14th of February. And Ash Wednesday is really an opportunity for us to remember our mortality. Maybe you have seen people walking around with crosses on their head made of ash. That goes back to the idea that it's from dust that we came and to dust that we will return. It's acknowledging our humanity, and I would say all of the things that Jesus actually came and died and resurrected to redeem. Right? We know that we live in a fallen world, a fallen state, but we know that the kingdom of God is breaking through and that Jesus came to bring forgiveness. So Ash Wednesday is an opportunity to remember, just like the hymn says, that it's amazing grace that saved a wretch like me. In my wretched state, Jesus came while we were still sinners. He came to die for us and to give us life eternal. So that's the heart of Ash Wednesday. And then that initiates the season of Lent, which is 40 days leading up to the Thursday before Good Friday. This is traditionally a time for prayer and fasting. So how are we going to participate as a church? We've got 3 clear invitations for you to participate with us in. They're all going to happen on Wednesdays, beginning with Ash Wednesday. And the reason for this is because it's a great midweek reminder that we're inviting Christ into the center of our week, into the center of our lives. So every Wednesday, we will have first a Zoom prayer meeting at 7:30 a.m. The link for this will be available at kings.church/Lent. It's only going to be 15 to 20 minutes at 7:30 a.m. And this will be an opportunity for us to have a time of directed prayer to give God the first fruits of our time and energy on those Wednesdays. The second invitation is going to be for a prayer walk. So then at 12:30 on those Wednesdays leading up to Good Friday, we will spend time praying together as we're walking. So you are invited to join us at King's Church as we will walk around in prayer. Or if that's not an option for you, maybe you take your lunch break, you take that time at your workplace or at your home, wherever you may be, to just step outside and say, I'm going to walk and pray and acknowledge God's heart for this community. The third and final invitation is to fast with us. Now, I want to be very clear up front and acknowledge the reality that for some, fasting food is not a wise option. And that is absolutely okay. If you cannot fast food, then perhaps you could fast some other things like social media. Every time you're tempted to pick up your phone to scroll, you say, I'm going to actually pick up my Bible and pray. Or maybe even watching those shows at night, you're saying, instead of doing that on these Wednesdays, I'm going to give this time to God. I'm going to pick up my Bible. I'm going to pray. I'm going to worship. I'm going to call some of my friends who are in the community of God and be encouraged that way. But if food is a viable option for you to fast, maybe that looks like starting with just one meal on the Wednesdays. Perhaps it's saying, instead of eating breakfast on these Wednesdays, I'm going to replace that time with prayer. Or if you are able to fast food for the entire Wednesday, then allowing for those hunger pangs to remind you of your necessity for God, for His presence. So there are lots of ways that you can join us in this time. And all this will lead up to the culmination of Holy Week, where we will have different prayer stations set up in the church. And then ultimately, we will have our Good Friday service together and Easter celebration. So there's a lot happening between Ash Wednesday and Easter, and we hope that you will join us. Again, find out more at thekings.church/Lent.